Hi guys. Welcome to the twisted world of a struggling family in Pennsylvania in 1993, where Bonnie's violent past haunts them once again. Bonnie has murdered her abusive husband, which lands her in prison, leaving her eldest son Harley to pick up the pieces, raising his 3 sisters alone. 16-year-old Amber, 12-year-old Misty, and 6-year-old Jody. Harley dreams of pursuing further education and a better life, but the responsibility hinders him. He works tiresome dead-end jobs just to put food on the table and pay the bills. Due to working night shifts, he seeks help from his sister Amber, but faces stern refusal. "You don't deserve happiness." Amber sneers, preparing for a date with a mysterious man. But Harley is a fighter. He takes care of his sisters Misty and Jody, working at the local supermarket where he meets Callie, a married woman whose life is as dark as his. She could be the ally he needs to survive in this bleak existence. That night, Harley stumbles back home, exhausted from a day of work. But as he rests his weary head, the moans coming from the living room jolt him awake. He finds his sister Amber in unspeakable position with a stranger on the couch. Enraged, he rushes outside, fires a few shots into the air, scaring off the intruder. But when Misty and Jody wake up from their sleep, they find their siblings in a heated argument. The stranger runs off quickly, leaving Harley to douse the couch in preparation for the last rites. The next day, Harley and Jody visit their mother Bonnie in prison. It's been 2 years since she took her husband's life. But for Harley, it's the first time he's seen her in person. He leaves Misty at home, not wanting her and Jody to fight on the way. As for Amber, she couldn't care less. Harley thinks his mother is content to rot in jail, choosing the cold embrace of a cell over the warmth of her family. But as they sit face to face with Bonnie, the weight of reality crashes down on Harley, and he collapses in panic. Following the court's orders, Harley starts seeing a therapist, who quickly notices his belief that his mother cares more about the girls. Harley thinks it's because girls can have children, whereas boys can just leave. But if he ever is a father to a child, he swears to marry the mother, not out of love, but out of a sense of responsibility. As children, Harley and his sisters endure the terror of a horrific father who beats and abuses them. Merely mentioning their father's name infuriates Harley, and he quits therapy before the therapist can delve deeper. Tension is palpable at dinner, when Harley's sisters reveal that Callie has come by, leaving a mysterious gift. His world turns upside down when his sister Amber presents an enticing offer in front of him. A chance to escape childhood hellish memories by going on a date with one of her friends. But when he realizes that the girl is only 16, he refuses the invitation without hesitation. In the bleakness of a late-night shift at the supermarket, Harley encounters Callie again, sensing a glimmer of hope. Bonding over a shared love for art, Harley begins to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But just as he thinks he has established a connection, Uncle Mike shows up, reminding them of the family that haunts their minds. Mike is the only one who still cares about Harley and his sisters. But their father's other relatives have cut ties, unable to bear the shame of their association with the family. Late into the night, Harley stumbles to Callie's doorstep, choking on a panic attack. He plunges into the shadows of the forest, with Callie following behind. Despite her attempts to comfort him, he tears off his clothes and holding hands with her in the wilderness. Waking up the next morning, Harley finds Callie gone. He finds her at work, where she apologizes for running off, and warns him that what happened in the woods must never be repeated. But Callie's desire to help Harley isn't just talk. She invites him to her empty house when her husband isn't around. After work, Harley comes to Callie's house where she submits fully to him, willing to give everything to alleviate his emotional and physical pain. When Harley returns home, he finds that his sister Misty has stumbled upon their mother's hidden cash stash, precisely $1,000. But as he approaches her kindly for the money, Amber barges in vindictively, slaps Misty, and snatches the loot for herself. Her demand: her driver's license. But Harley, wiser to the ways of the world, knows better. House taxes come first. Amber explodes in anger, hurling a stream of curses at Harley. Feeling defeated, Harley seeks solace in his lover Callie's arms. The two continue their affair, finding comfort in each other's embrace, finding peace in their secret moments, wherever they may be. When Harley sits in the therapist's office, the weight of years of abuse and trauma crashes down. The therapist cautiously prods, sensing there's more to the story. Has Misty ever been sexually abused by your father? Harley nods, confirming the therapist's fear. But what about Amber? The therapist asks. He's trying to understand the twisted dynamics of this broken family. Harley's eyes go dark, shifting uncomfortably in his seat. Amber and I never had a healthy relationship. Our father never touched her, he says with a cold laugh, harboring a twisted sense of gratitude for her not enduring the abuse he and Misty suffered. Harley storms out of the therapist's office, boiling with anger and pain. He stumbles home to find Amber packing her bags, ready to leave with her new boyfriend. He tries to stop her, to make her stay. But Amber is done with the toxic family and the abuse that defined their lives. Harley's world is about to turn upside down as he confronts Jody about Amber's sudden departure. Jody drops a bombshell with a deadly serious tone. Someone heard Amber and Misty arguing about Harley. From now on, things will only get worse. Jody then admits finding a piece of cloth soaked in blood from Misty, the cloth she wore the day their father was murdered. Harley realizes that on that fateful day, Misty was with their father and mother. And if the rumors of their father's abuse are true, then she pulled the trigger in self-defense. To keep her from being caught, their dear mother Bonnie must have stood by her side. The next day, Harley visits his dear old mother. He clenches his jaw, balls his fists, and spills all the horrific details of the past few days. He chuckles coldly, demanding to know why she has been taking the fall for Misty all these years. But of course, she hasn't actually fallen for her prison cell, had she? Well, hold on to your hats, guys, because the truth is about to surprise you. It turns out, it wasn't Misty who pulled the trigger on their dear old dad. No. Misty's gaze turns to their dear old mom, all because she's green with jealousy. See, Misty fell in love with their dad. Mind you, this isn't most people's idea of love, but a twisted, nauseating kind that only a killer can understand. She took her father's abuse as a twisted expression of his love for her. When Harley realizes the severity of the deception happening right under his nose, he is greatly shocked. Driven by anger and confusion, he rushes to Callie's house, ready to confront her. But she tells him to shut up, reminding him that he can't just barge into her life, especially not with her husband around. She won't risk ruining her perfect marriage for a 19-year-old girl who can't control her emotions. One night, Harley and Amber cross a small path in the supermarket. She drops a bombshell, saying she's going to live with her new boyfriend, leaving Harley at a loss. But upon closer observation, he notices a black bruise on her eye. He can't ignore the suspicion that something is wrong. He asks the question, did her new boyfriend hit her? In a cruel twist of fate, he even asks if she would stay with him if he hit her too. Amber is startled, but then a glimmer of hope flashes in her eyes. She takes Harley's question as an invitation, cuts off her abusive relationship with her boyfriend, and starts dating Harley. The next morning, Harley wakes up from a nightmare. Amber lies on the bed, like a disguised demon. He's terrified, but she isn't. She reaches out to touch him, making everything feel real, but he pushes her away. Harley stumbles out of the room, troubled by what happened the night before. Then, Amber's voice cuts through his thoughts, a knife piercing his heart. Callie doesn't love you, she sneers. Not like I love you. As memories of the traumatic event resurface, Harley's mind is filled with disgust. He stumbles into the therapist's office, eager for answers. Harley reveals the dark secret he has been carrying for many years with a trembling voice. He recalls those nights when Amber climbed into his bed seeking comfort, trembling with fear of the father who abused them. But Harley doesn't stop her. He's paralyzed by fear too. The therapist listens empathetically, calmly explaining that they are just survivors, finding solace in each other amidst the horror they endured. When Harley drags his heavy steps home, Misty snickers. I heard every word of your spat with Amber. News flash, darling. We're all cut from the same twisted cloth. Misty coldly adds, our dear old dad never loved me, not like he loved Mom. I thought if I gave him what he wanted, he would eventually stop hitting me. How foolish I was. Harley subsequently goes to meet Callie in the woods, but the reunion takes a dark turn. Harley accidentally discovers Callie's body, with a bullet hole in her chest. The finger points directly at his beloved sister Amber, who is filled with jealousy, and sees Callie as a threat to her twisted relationship with Harley. She only wants him all to herself, just like before, to protect the only person he truly cared for. Harley recklessly walks into the police station and confesses to Callie's murder. The interrogator scoffs at his admission, but Harley still firmly says, I did it. Send me to jail. Harley was initially unwilling to bear the burden of the sisters on his shoulders. He blamed his family's terrible situation, but as the sinister truth of this family was revealed, Harley realized the gravity of the situation and accepted his responsibility as a protector. If it means protecting the safety of his sisters, he is willing to give his life. Uncle Mike, now their legal guardian, takes Jody, Misty, and Amber under his shelter. If you enjoy this video, please give a like and subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.